Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. My name is John Hilary Balyejusa, and I'm speaking to you now from Jinja in Uganda. It's such a pleasure to be joining you at the conference, Intergenerational Climate, Justice. Because over the years, you realize that the climate crisis, the earth that we walk is, the very famous saying, we borrowed it from our children. So it's very important that we take intergenerational climate justice is very important. So I'm speaking to you from Jinja, Uganda. It's I live in a tropical climate, tropical environment, tropical climate here. Quite honestly, it's been okay for us in terms of like rainfall for the past maybe 20 years. The trend started, getting progressively worse about 20 years ago, but it was okay before that. We do have a lot of food. Mostly, we are the food basket of Africa. Because we live around the Interlacustrian region, so many rivers and lakes. It was good for a long time, and unfortunately, over the past 20 years, the trend has significantly has been dropping significantly. This month of October, usually we are well into the second rainy season, and it's about because there's season starts about maybe usually at in June, July, but this time, which has also been the story for the past maybe 15 years, the rains have not been coming at the times that we expect them to come. So people only planted about a month ago, which is a big threat to the food security in the area. And also, and I was speaking earlier also from the recording that I just always remember a conversation I had with my uncle about 15, 12 years ago when we're beginning to have these changes very noticeable. And that year the rains were late, and we're talking about that, and he was really worried. And at that time, I was younger, so I didn't quite understand it. Now I do, because at that point, for him, and for the people where he lives in the rural areas, they literally, like you pay tuition to go to school, I believe in Ireland. They don't pay tuition to go to school. They take things to school in exchange for their students to have school to go to school. So they take food, they take maize, whatever their harvest is. So the children's learning is highly dependent on how much the family is able to collect. So if there's not enough, if the harvest is not good enough, how will that means the children will not go to school, but also with other things, because they'll not be able to get a decent life for themselves. Now I understand it better because I became a journalist, so I cover a lot. My stories are around, human, people's stories, and I have seen, we ask for the rain all the time because when it's dry, we cannot plant, and we are short of food. But now when the rain comes, it's very catastrophic. And the past 7 years, we have had, the rain comes and it floods, and then we end up having mudslides, landslides. And the past 7 years, we have seen about 4 landslides around the Kenya-Uganda border. So that has led to a lot of loss of lives, of course, in property. And now we have internally displaced people because of not war, but because of climate change, because of, unusual weather patterns. And that's happened in so many places around the country. The Uganda-Congo border, same thing has happened. A river there busts its banks almost every 2 years. And it is so painful to see, children and women trying to carry whatever they can from their homes and walking long distances just because now their homes are like, their entire village is like flooded. It's very painful to see, but that's the reality that we're facing right now. But that's only in areas, for instance, where we receive a lot of rain. But like Abigail was saying earlier, sort of like in northern Uganda, which has a similar weather, like the one Abigail was describing earlier. When it's about 6 months without rain, 7 months, it's a matter of survival for the fittest. Now you have people killing each other because they're fighting for water to feed themselves and their livestock. It's very devastating to see that a family has to ration, like a liter of water, how much, for their maybe 5 children, and they have to walk long distances to get maybe 10 liters of water. It's very, very painful to see. Again, I live in Ginger, and I'm speaking to you right now about 3 minutes walk from the River Nile. Now, 2 years ago during the lockdown, the global corona pandemic, the River Nile and Lake Victoria, they are literally burst their banks. The water levels rose so high, about maybe 10 meters inland. So we had people's farms destroyed. We had restaurants destroyed. And it becomes a threat to even the people doing business here, because tourism has been one of the big, income earners. And unfortunately now it's also under threat. So many bird species, so many animals are having to run to different places because of the changes in environmental patterns. I know I lost a bit of time earlier, so I'll sort of just keep it at that. But just one thing I would like to say is that the pain for me and for the people here is that we know climate change is a natural phenomenon. It can happen. But the problem is that most of us, people here feel that they don't contribute that much to deserve all this pain. And right now, we are in the middle of a crisis where the government here, together with Total from France, are establishing what they're calling the East African Crude Oil Pipeline, which is estimated will bring a lot of carbon emissions into the atmosphere. And that is a huge challenge. It's also going to go through very rich biodiverse areas, so many swamps. And it's such a huge threat because you're already struggling with the effects of climate change. And now we have to deal with this other monster called eco. And I hope, we hope that things just turn out best for all of us. Thank you so much for listening to me. And please continue to take good care of yourself. Oh, I'm seeing questions. Am I supposed to respond to that? When the last time we received rain? So where I live, the rains have finally come. They have been 2 months late, but they have finally come. Unfortunately, in other places, the rains have not been there for about maybe 6-7 months, and that greatly affects their well-being over there. Thank you so much, School CBS Secondary. Thank you so much.